Hi, this is Don Farber with VineyardSoft Corporation, and I'd like to welcome you to this training session on the KnowledgeSync solution. The topic for this session is the creation of alert dashboards, and in fact this is the second of 3 training sessions on dashboard design. As such, we strongly recommend that you first have viewed the introductory session on dashboards before proceeding with the current course. Now let's begin with a quick overview of what are alert dashboards. An alert dashboard in KnowledgeSync is a web page or HTML page that contains the details of one or more specific business scenarios. The dashboard that you have in front of you right now simply is a list of clients and their current balance due out of an ERP application. Now, these dashboards are automatically updated by KnowledgeSync on a periodic basis based upon the schedule associated with the dashboard event. KnowledgeSync allows you to create 2 different types of dashboard events, the first of which is referred to as a standard dashboard event. A standard dashboard event is an event whose results is the creation of a single dashboard. For example, you might have a CEO or CFO who would like to have a dashboard that shows a list of all currently overdue clients, and that would be created through a standard dashboard event. By the same token, you might also have sales reps who each want their own dashboard showing just their customers who have overdue receivables. In KnowledgeSync, you do not need to create a separate dashboard event for each of those sales reps. That you can manage through a function called dynamic dashboard events. That would be a single event that dynamically creates multiple dashboards. The dashboard that we're looking at right now is actually an example of a dashboard that was created by a dynamic dashboard event, as Harvey Earlwright is just one of many of our sales reps, and this particular dashboard was created by an event that created over a dozen separate dashboards for each individual sales rep, Harvey being one of them. Now, before we leave this particular dashboard, I'd also like to point out one other aspect of it. And that is, notice how this dashboard shows the details of individual customers, but also has a total line. To do so, this dashboard makes use of not 1, but 2 queries. The first query, which retrieves the individual details of customers and their receivable balances, and a second dashboard which performs the totaling logic at the very bottom. Now, every dashboard is driven by a KnowledgeSync query, and so let's talk about those queries. Now, we're going to continue working in our ERP or accounting application, and you'll notice in our case we store all of our dashboards in a separate branch on the left called ERP dashboards. You can separate out your dashboards in such a fashion as we've done, or simply design dashboards and lump them in along with the rest of your KnowledgeSync events for use with your ERP application. We're going to consider the following business scenario: clients who are at least 90 days overdue. And we're going to take a look at how you would design 2 different queries for that same business scenario. One query is designed for a standard dashboard event. That is, that the query is going to be used to create a single dashboard. The second query is going to be used in a dynamic dashboard event. This is a query that's going to dynamically enable the creation of multiple dashboards from a single event. But let's start out with the standard dashboard event first. Like any other query, this query allows you to select the tables of data that you wish to retrieve data from, link or join those tables together, and then select the individual columns or fields of data that you might wish to put into the resulting dashboard, such as the customer's name, their current balance, credit limit, and so on. Now, what makes this query usable in a dashboard event is the appearance of an additional column typically referred to as the dashboard address column. To add this column to a query, you would typically click on the button called Add Calculated Column to Query. In our case, to view this column in more detail, we can simply click in its name and click on the button that appears there. Now the dashboard address column consists of two parts. The first part is where you're able to specify the name of the folder that you want the dashboard file to be created in. Here we've specified a folder called General. This folder will reside beneath the dashboard master publishing location that was specified in the KnowledgeSync Administrator module under the option for webcast locations detailed in the preceding dashboard training course. Do keep in mind that if KnowledgeSync goes to create a dashboard in a folder and finds that the folder does not exist, KnowledgeSync will automatically create that folder for you. The second part of the dashboard address is the actual name of the dashboard file you want KnowledgeSync to create. In this case, we're telling KnowledgeSync to create a file called clients_90 days. By hard-coding these values, we ensure that regardless of the number of records that this query retrieves, all of those records are going to be thrown into a single dashboard file, which is going to be created in the specified location. So, one last note about this dashboard address, and that is that when you create this column in a query, we do recommend that you make its customized name dashboard_address. As it is on the event level that we'll be able to select the field from the query that contains the name and address of the dashboard to be created, and thus we've chosen a logical customized name like dashboard address. Now the rest of this query is designed much like any other record level query. You're able to select sorting criteria, you're filtering, here specifying that we wish to retrieve only those clients who are at least 90 days overdue, and of course you can test the results of the query as well. Regardless of the number of records that this query retrieves, you'll notice that all records have the same dashboard address. And that's what tells us that this query is going to be used in an event that creates a single dashboard file that gets created in the specified location. So now let's take a look at this second query. This query is going to be used in a dynamic dashboard event, an event that's dynamically going to create multiple dashboards. In this case, a separate dashboard for each sales rep who has clients with 90-day overdue receivables. Once again, we've chosen the tables and linked them together and have selected the columns of data we might wish to put into our dashboard. Once again, we need to look for that dashboard address field, and we find it. But here is where we find that the dashboard address itself is different. And it is this difference that makes this query able to create multiple dashboards, because instead of hard-coding the location of the dashboard, and instead of hard-coding the name of the dashboard so that all records were automatically put into the same dashboard file, here we're actually using field variables. As you can see here, the salesperson's name is actually going to be the name of the folder in which the dashboard is created. The dashboard file itself is going to start with the name of the salesperson and then followed with _clients_90days.htm. It is by using these variables that you make this query able to create multiple dashboards. Because consider, if you have 30, 40, 50 or more customers with overdue receivables, those customers are going to be the responsibility of various sales reps. Some customers being assigned to sales rep A, some customers being assigned to sales rep B, others to sales rep C, and so on. Because that salesperson name is going to change, so too will the value of this line. Thus, the name of the target destination, the folder in which the dashboard file is going to be created, as well as the dashboard file itself, will be different for each group of sales reps who have clients with overdue receivables. Okay, once again, we've given this column the customized name of dashboard address, and again we're able to select our filtering criteria as well as our sorting. One very important note. For queries that are going to create multiple dashboards such as this one, you need to ask yourself the following question. For each dashboard that's created, what's going to group records together in a single dashboard? Well, in our case, we're going to create a separate dashboard for each sales rep. Therefore, we need to make sure that this query groups all the records that belong to a certain salesperson together. So all of salesperson's A customers with overdue receivables are grouped together. All of salesperson B's customers with overdue receivables are grouped together, etc. So again, very important in queries that are going to create multiple dashboards that you specify the sorting logic so that all similar records get grouped together within the individual dashboards that are created. Now, we can take a look at, in our KnowledgeSync system, the example of both of these queries dashboard outputs. The first query created a dashboard file simply called clients_90 days, and that file was created in the folder called General. The second query that we looked at that would create multiple dynamic dashboards, well, we can look at one of our sales reps, Harvey Earlwright. This was the dashboard that we looked at the very start of this session. And here we can see, in addition to our general folder, we've also got a folder according to Harvey's name. And within that folder, we've got the corresponding dashboard. Once again, the dashboard file being preceded by Harvey's name. Okay, so that wraps up the second part of dashboard creation in KnowledgeSync. Very importantly, you need to identify whether an event is going to create just a single dashboard or multiple dashboard. And if multiple dashboards, make sure that you design your query appropriately so that it has the ability to create those multiple dashboard output files. So with that, I'll thank you very much for your time today. I appreciate you learning about query design for dashboard event creation in KnowledgeSync. I very much look forward to speaking with you in a future KnowledgeSync training session. Thanks very much.